For several decades, a silent affliction crept through the veins of countless Nigerians. It twisted joy into pain, innocence into suffering. Families watched their loved ones suffer, fading into the grasp of sickle cell disorder. No remedy, no answers, only despair. As generations lost their battles in silence, left ignorant, unheard, and unhealed. Nigeria bears the highest burden of this disorder worldwide. Each year, 150,000 babies are born into lives of uncertainty, with many facing short and painful journeys, as over 100,000 of these babies do not live to see their 5th birthdays. The average life expectancy of persons living with sickle cell disorder in Nigeria is a mere 20 years. Sickle cell disorder contributes to 8% of child mortality in Nigeria, and it is among the top 10 non-communicable diseases in the country. Over 25% of the nation's population have the AS gene combination, and that means they can transfer sickle cell disorder to their unborn children. This makes sickle cell disorder a national medical emergency that has largely been totally ignored. From the depths of this struggle, a beacon of hope arose. Over 30 years ago, through the dedication of one man, Professor Olu Akinyoju, OON, the vision of Sickle Cell Foundation Nigeria was born. A vision to break the chains of ignorance, to educate, to provide treatment, care, support, and cure for sickle cell disorder. Sickle Cell Foundation Nigeria has since woven a legacy, transforming healthcare for those living with sickle cell, providing comprehensive care, treatment, with the aid of strategic partnerships and initiatives, empowering lives that were once shrouded in ignorance and in inaccessibility to proper care. It is important to note that Sickle Cell Foundation Nigeria has been the centerpiece of the collaborative efforts for the development of the Sickle Cell Foundation Nigeria LUTH Bone Marrow Transplant Center. Sickle Cell Foundation Nigeria is delighted to announce the launch of its bone marrow transplant program in collaboration with LUTH.
The process we are in today, if you know, Nigeria is the capital of sickle cell disorder in the world. The curative therapy for sickle cell disorder is bone marrow transplant.
Sickle Cell Foundation Nigeria is a centerpiece of this collaborative effort that has brought in partners to bring to birth the bone marrow transplant program.
Can you appreciate a sickle cell patient going from SS to even AS? Me as a father of 2 sickle cell patients, all right, that are now AA and AS, every morning I thank God.
I have been through this journey. At some point a couple of years ago, my son and I lived 6 months outside this country to fix the disorder. I'm quite emotional that this thing that is so important is happening in Nigeria. This is a groundbreaking thing happening in Nigeria. I am deeply emotional to be part of this. This is life-changing. My son, since he had it, we haven't had not even the pain. The pain is unbelievable. I mean, I lived this because I watched my son. There were times late 2 a.m., 3 a.m., a grown-up, I will put him on my back
There is no doubt that the clinical team are outstanding, and I think it's worth investing.
The good news is they started with the end in mind, and they had started with a post-transplant clinic where they've offered post-transplant care for people who got this treatment abroad. And so I think they're also competent to be able to handle these patients after the transplant procedure.
By God's grace, 100% success, all right? We are putting LUTH on the map.
Bone marrow transplant itself, it's not that regular procedure that we get to do in a low to middle income country like ours. We're proud of ourselves to start with because despite the constraints, despite the restrictions, despite every other barriers there could be, we made it work.
What just seems to be is a result of team work. Without Sickle Cell Foundation of the Year, I didn't think we're going to be where we are today. We realized that without collaboration, it's not possible for us to deliver this. With Sickle Cell Foundation and Chevron, LAPC, Lagos government, and several other donors that I'm not even aware of. That's the reason why we are where we are. Let's recognize the fact that the push, the commitment by Sickle Cell Foundation is top notch.
I have confidence in that, and both the Sickle Cell Foundation and Lagos Teaching Hospital has invested a lot in training.
We have had the opportunity for training, but it has paid off because at the end of the day, we have been able to do our maiden transplants.
The nurses and doctors I have encountered have exceptionally good.
It went very well. This was our first run through. Honestly, everyone did a really great job.
I think the program is doing really well. We've come a long ways. A lot of places would be very envious to have a lab with this kind of setup. Technology looks good, processes look good, you know.
I am very happy collaborating with this. I am very happy being there, working together.
There's no return of the sickle cell disease.
It's amazing to be at this point, at this time in Nigeria.
There is hope. With this that we have seen, that we have donated, and we will not relent. And we thank God for this that has come. We thank God because we're going to build capacity in country. We are going to ensure that this facility runs.
We are quite impressed with the progress that has been made so far on this initiative, especially when you consider where this is happening in this country, the stewardship, the accountability that has been shown, and we are encouraged to say that we expect that this will be sustained.
We did the very first harvest and bone marrow transplant in southwest Nigeria. Our program compares to any in the world.
We are putting well-meaning Nigerians on notice that this is our own. We should support and sustain, own it, and we should make sure that it succeeds. All right? We're only talking about 2 this year. By God's grace, we could do 10 next year, but we need funds. And we have the likes of Chevron, we want ExxonMobil to join us, we want Nestle, we want everybody that is well-meaning to join us.
I'm grateful that passion is driving this work. I'm grateful that commitment is driving this work. I'm grateful that selflessness is driving this work. And I want to say that this is going to be a legacy that will outlive everyone in this team. And this is us, pulling efforts and resources together to establish the fact that the pain-free life is possible. And sickle cell disease, we're definitely going to beat you in Nigeria and in Africa.